Alright, here we go. Number 3. This is the third time I recorded this. So, we're looking at different forms that you can express a parabola in. The first one that we've seen a bunch is this one. Standard form. It could look like this. Looks something like this. We factored these, we worked through these, we did a whole bunch of stuff with this. So we've seen this a lot. But the key thing we want to know is what information do we get off this? What we want to look at this is that last number. So if we hop over to Desmos real quick, take a look at this first one. X squared plus 2x plus 3. Where does that plus 3 come in? And if we look, the x-intercepts, not the x-intercept, the y-intercept is plus 3, which matches that last number. So let's take a look and see if that holds. This is x squared plus 2x plus 1. If we look here, the y-intercept, again, is that last number. So it appears that whatever the last number is there, or the c value, is our y-intercept. Now if we look here, negative 2 is our last number, and if we look at our y-intercept, it's negative 2. But also, what's different is this one. This one's pointed down. I feel like it has a negative in front of it. So since it has a negative in front of it, it's going to go down instead of up. And we worked through that when we did vertex form as well. Okay, now what about this last one? This last one here doesn't have a c value. So what's it going to be? What's the y-intercept is you think it's going to be? It's 0. If it's not there, it must be 0. Okay? So if we hop back here, this gives us our y-intercept. Okay? Now factored form, I'll change my colors, is this. And we've worked with factored form, We've worked with factored form before. X minus r, x minus t. Okay, and sometimes that may be t and s, or r and s, right? Just two letters in there. And if we do something like this, it may look like this. X plus 3, x minus 2, and I'll fix that up. Okay, might look something like that. But what information do we get out of here? And we're going to look here at these two places right here. Now remember, inside the brackets is the land of the opposites, as we always say. So if we look at this one, we have x minus 2 and x plus 5. So we take a peek here and look, our x-intercepts are negative 5 and positive 2, which is the exact opposite of these numbers in here. Okay? So this one here is negative 4 and plus 1. So if we take a look here, the sign switch, so negative 1 is going to be this one, and positive 4 is going to be this one. Now we have a negative in front of here, which should tell us it's going to point down. We have a negative 3 and a negative 6. So land of opposites tell us that the x-intercepts are going to be 3 and 6. Okay. And last one here, we have, it looks like factored form. This is common factored. So we're going to have a positive 3. This is a negative 3, so when it comes out, it's going to be positive 3. But what's the x? What's the number attached to this x? It's not there, so it's going to be 0. So it looks like so. So realistically, this gives us our x-intercept. Okay, but I'm going to show you a neat one. Now this is a hint for your culminating. 2x plus 8, x minus 1. That would tell you it's going to be minus 8 and plus 1. But it's not minus 8 and plus 1. The plus 1 is there, but it's negative 4. So how does that come about? Well, if we scroll over here for a second, let's do a little math. So we have 2x plus 8 and x minus 1. So what actually happens here is you want one of these brackets to equal 0. Okay, so one way we can make it equal 0, oops, is we actually make these two parts equal 0, and we figure out what number could we put in there and make it equal 0. So we just solve for x here. So there's x equals 1, which makes sense. But this one here, 2x plus 8 equals 0. Let's move that over. 2x equals negative 8. Divide by 2, x equals negative 4. So that's where that other negative 4 comes from that we saw here. Okay, that's where that negative 4 came from as we went here. Okay, so I'll do another example for you. We'll just make one up here, which will be, I'll do it in a different color so we know it's different. Okay, so let's go with 4x. I don't know if I can use Galaxy, it's too freaky. And let's go 2x minus 10. So we separate this off. We go 4x plus 16 equals 0. Move it over. 4x equals negative 16. Divide by 4. X equals negative 4. So if we were drawing it here, we'd have one thing at negative 4. This one's 2x minus 10 equals 0. So 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, we get x equals 5. So my other one would be at 5. So if you ever have numbers in front of the x's here, that's how we solve it. So now, vertex form we did right before we left. So that looks like this. Minus h squared plus k. And it might look like something like this. X minus 3 squared plus 4. Remember, so this gives us our vertex, right? Land of the opposites. So my vertex in this case would be 3, 4, because the 3 is going to switch signs. And if we take a look on Desmos, we have this one, negative 5 plus 3. Well, our vertex is going to be at 5 and 3. This switches signs, right? That stays the same. So 5, 3. And this one's plus 5 plus 3. So it's going to be, oops, I forgot the square on that. So it's going to be minus 5, 3. And remember, if we have a negative in front, it's just going to go down. In this case, negative 1, 1. Just like so. Land of the opposites. So I'll take you through the first couple of questions here. Oh, there we go. Let's review this. So direction of opening opens up when the A is positive. So for example, let's go 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. But if the A is negative, right, such as like negative x plus 4, x minus 3, it's going to go down. So if that leading number up here, just as we saw here, anytime it was negative, it was down. And if it was positive, it's going up. So let me go through a couple questions here. First of all, circle what it is. Okay, look here, it's factored. What does factored give us? It gives us our zeros. And we look here, and we swap the signs since they're land of opposites. And it's a positive in front. There's no number there, so it's just like imaginary 1, so it's going to be up. Okay. So my next one is going to be factored. Sorry, it's vertex form. What color did I do vertex in? I did in this color. So we're in vertex form here. Vertex form, we get the vertex. And what's the vertex of this one? Well, 2. It's -2, but we're going to swap. It's going to be 2, comma, -9. And there is a nothing here, so it's a positive, so it's going to go up. Then lastly, I have a standard form one here. Okay. Standard form gives me my y-intercept. My y-intercept is my last number here. It's going to be -8. And I have a negative here, so it's going down. Okay. So 11 minutes on the dot. Hopefully it won't take up too much of your time. You have 8 questions left to do on the sheet. Okay. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.